In today's video, we're installing the Hager 5100 door closer in a parallel arm configuration. Before we begin, take a moment to review the installation template included with your closer. The Hager 5100 can be set up for 100 degrees, 120 degrees, or up to 180 degrees door openings, depending on your application. For this demonstration, we'll be installing it for a 100-degree door swing. Let's start with the door layout. Measure from the pivot point of the top hinge and mark 9 7/16 inches over on the face of the door. From that mark, measure 1 inch further and make a second line. These two marks identify the mounting hole locations for the closer body. Next, measure 2 1/4 inches down from each mark and square your lines across. These will determine the vertical mounting height of the closer. Now, move up to the top of the frame. Again, measure from the hinge pivot, not from the edge of the stop, and mark 9 7/16 inches across the head of the frame. Use the parallel arm bracket as your guide and mark each screw hole exactly where it needs to go. Once your layout is complete, use a center punch to dimple each mark. This keeps the drill bit centered and ensures clean, accurate screw placement. Pre-drill one pilot hole using a 3/16 inch drill bit to make installation easier. Next, mount the closer body. On a parallel arm installation, the cylinder end must always face away from the hinges. Position the closer over your reference mark and secure it using the provided self-drilling metal screws. Make sure it's aligned properly and fully seated against the door. Before moving on, install the 2 small cover screws on top of the closer body. Doing this now saves time later and makes installing the decorative cover much easier. Next, attach the parallel arm bracket to the underside of the frame stop. Line it up square and flush, then secure it using the screws provided. If your frame stop is narrow, use the spacer shim included in the kit to maintain the correct mounting distance. Now, we'll assemble the closer arm. The Hager 5100 uses a 2-piece arm assembly, a main arm and an adjustable forearm. Remove the connecting screw to separate the 2 pieces. Attach the main arm to the closer spindle. The spindle is shaped to accept the arm in only one orientation. To seat it properly, you'll need to preload the spindle by turning it about 1/8 of a turn with a wrench or vice grips. Once aligned, drop the arm onto the spindle and tighten the screw and washer provided. Next, attach the forearm foot to the parallel arm bracket using the 2 short screws. Make sure the long side of the foot faces the hinge. Reconnect the forearm to the main arm with the screw you removed earlier. With the door almost closed, rotate the arm assembly until it sits roughly parallel with the frame stop. Then tighten the screw securely. With the mechanical installation complete, it's time to adjust the closer. The Hager 5100 features 3 hydraulic control valves. Sweep speed, which controls the main closing motion. Latch speed, which controls the final few inches of closing. Backcheck, which provides resistance as the door opens. Using the supplied hex wrench, turn each valve clockwise to slow or counterclockwise to increase speed. For ADA compliance, the door should take about 15 seconds to close from fully open. Adjust the backcheck so it engages around 90 degrees of opening, preventing wind or excessive force from throwing the door wide open. At the end of the closer barrel, you'll find the spring power adjustment screw. Turning this clockwise increases the closing force, useful for heavier doors or exterior locations with wind pressure. Once your adjustments are dialed in, open and close the door several times to confirm smooth sweep, controlled latching, and proper backcheck engagement. Finally, install the decorative cover. Your installation is now complete.